Oh hey internet, welcome back to the Type QQ channel. We're back with some more Embodiment of Scarlet Devil Exorcism Runs. And I mean, sure, actually, we could probably say this is the first Exorcism run. This was probably the worst one of the three. I guess we, started off strong, not as rushed as we thought. And then the last video we made maybe a sideways step, not necessarily all that much progress, although making it to the final boss. This one, a bit of a step backward. I had talked about last video, like maybe times of the week, times of the day, play against you, and you kind of play with a disadvantage. We certainly toyed with the idea that maybe we were unlucky last round. I'm not sure what the case is with this one. Sometimes I think, maybe I don't know. We certainly suffered some huge mistakes and got our our faces melted off in certain areas. There are certainly a few gates of challenge, or rather, certain little blips on the radar that we need to overcome in order to 1cc this game. And they're still proving to be somewhat of a touchy subject, or they're still proposing quite a bit of challenge. We haven't actually we're not even putting up a challenge to the final boss, so we can't even really say that Remilia Scarlet, the final boss character, is something of a challenge or a hurdle that we need to cross over. It's the previous two bosses, really, that are standing in our way from not even approaching that last boss fight as anything but a joke. We showed up there with one health and be like, all right, I guess there's no way we're going to survive this. And yeah, in this video, not so well, So we always toyed with the idea of these exorcism runs being a bit maddening, a bit angry, a bit salty, but we're going to do it anyway. Maybe this is the tip of that iceberg, or the sort of edge of the cliff staring into oblivion. I should hope not. The most frustrating thing is that there's a large part of this game that we've pretty much nailed down, and then we're sort of inching progress from that point, hoping not to make any stupid mistakes. But our 1cc credit clear is going to happen. We're going to get it. It is just a matter of time, a matter of work. Of course, life, just can't be full of positives. It seems like, with every positive, there's got to be a negative. So one of the more daunting challenges that are proposed right now, is that I might be looking at moving out of my current apartment to a new place. So I'm hoping it goes as smooth as I hope. In the next maybe 2 months or so. So there's not this giant gap of rustiness that I'll have to recover. And why I was saying this is this pros and cons to it all is that I finally am able to have somewhat of a pseudo office space where I can kind of record whenever. So the probability of there being more regular videos kind of certainly became more of a possibility. And it was kind of oh cool, so we can really almost potentially do a video a day, as crazy as that sounds, or a video every other day, and I was really that sounds really interesting. Or is certainly a more positive result than what we kind of previously worked with one movie, one video a week, and I was like, that really doesn't work out to how I really like it. But luckily there hasn't been too much fan backlash about like how inconsistent things have been. Job baby. However, having my own sort of semi soundproof room, not necessarily like a soundproof room, but just a room secluded enough that I could just kind of scream and nobody cares. To get it, and then kind of out of odd chance, and then be like, yeah, but you're only going to get it for a couple months, so hopefully we can get a lot of work into it. Just because we're going to be here for such a short time, at least as far as I know. Of course, things can change, but there it is. Wrapping up these last two stages, which is pretty much where our snores lie. There's a a recycling bin of videos where if we make something, make a mistake or just play pretty poorly, they're full of just us completing the first two levels and then just getting annihilated then on. So, hopefully as we progress, that sort of benchmark kind of pulls a little bit further into the game. So we're only worried about certain boss fights. Here's our first bomb. Maybe this is a sort of tell of this run, But you know what? Use a bomb, right? Use a bomb instead of losing a life. It's just that, like, we kind of moved into a cluster of bullets that were just staring us down, and we're like, oh shit, we should have never done that, and used a bomb kind of to save our skin. But with max power here, I suppose if anything could be said about this run is that, I think upon the strategies we previously discussed in the past videos, like I do want to make as many like dives to the top of the screen as I can to get those maximum points. I mean, granted, I haven't done a very good job lately. Here we go. See, I'm not so sure about that hit, but of course, like I mentioned previously, that pattern, sometimes I'm like looking at it the wrong way and something just touches me. I don't know. Really upsetting there. This whole stage, losing a bomb and losing a life. Garbage. Well, as I was saying, I'm not necessarily picking up my point pickups as much as I should be. Although I, trying to get to that top screen and making maximum points. Alright, let's see if we can have some revenge against Hung Marin here. She's not particularly hard. However, those last couple, patterns or attack patterns that she has, it seems to be kind of a crapshoot, it seems to be, kind of clued upon that maybe there's some RNG involved, or if we move too much, or if we kind of there seems to be some like easy spots and some absolutely tough spots to be in. So getting our extend there, some fast bullets here, so in essence, like, just don't be silly, right? The fairies around are going to shoot you, that's fine, but, kind of rushing up there to pick those maximums up. Probably something we should be more comfortable with doing, but kind of did the old in and out there to make sure we're not getting, shot by our next barrage of bullets. Absolutely easy pattern there. And here we go. These last two on her last life here are a little silly. There's a bomb there. I wish the colors had an indication of which direction they were going, but it seems like maybe they do, but it doesn't necessarily tell you the angle. It seems like they're just falling leaves sometimes. I mean, granted, thankfully, all relatively at the same they're not even going the same direction either. You can see some of these red ones. Some are going right, some are going left. But at least they're going all the same speed, as I was saying. But onto the stage, not looking the worst. However, if we could, Jesus Christ, how about that? Tiptoeing around our own idiocy there. If we could kind of start off our runs here, for example, kind of perfect the game the way we want up until this point. I think that's kind of what we want right now. And I guess what kind of worries me is that that last stage is a bit too tricky in some points for me to say, like, yeah. Want to rush up and grab all that. And of course, you want to kind of keep your movements kind of minimal during those areas where you want to kind of graze all those bullets and then kind of curve around to the top of the screen. Stay centered here as much as we can. Kind of got a little silly, kind of got a little scared, used our bomb. But I'm thinking maybe that's completely fine, Especially if we're picked up a bomb right here, right? I mean, the only thing that we're worried about is that we do want, maybe we should hold off on our bombs until it's absolutely necessary, but just keep our bomb finger, or like trigger finger, really loose on that, So we can loop around here, pick up all those. Yeah. I mean, yeah. How about that? We've done that before, haven't we? Where we're like, okay, we need to get up here, and then it's just like those sort of satanic Bibles putting us down instantly. Almost designed, almost as if they were designed to do that absolute trick right there. I mean, that's what we would do. We would love to just jump up there and grab all these pickups. Thankfully, just picking up full power mode there after our death. And one thing to keep in note is that this version of Raymond with the homing allows us to do this a lot easier than other characters. So that's certainly something to consider, with her pros and cons. Probably a really bad position to be centered with. You can see that some of our bullets are pulling to the left. Maybe we should remember where that comes and start at one side and work our way across. Because you can see our homing was pulled off to the left and we're shooting forward, so not the best. But as I was saying, when determining what character you should use, pros and cons, that sort of thing, one thing we do have to consider is that, is the homing aspect of her allows us to do those sort of weird maximum power grazing tricks. But here we are, Patchouli. We've not had the greatest luck against her. There's been some attacks that are easy breezy cover girl, which I think like this is for the most part, unless we walk into a wall of fire, which we just did right there, right? But yeah, I'm not terribly hurt that we used the bomb. I mean, we just want to make sure we have some. I would say later on in the game, for the next stage and the stage after that, for some of those more like sillier barrages. Saved our tail there with a sort of suicide bomb, or rather just a sort of, I forget what they call it, just a sort of last second bomb. Those lasers though, they're really tricky. They stay on the screen and they follow you quite a ways. Seeing the fire pretty well. However, there we go. We see the sort of yellow sort of moving, other than just sort of a slow drift down. I mean, this could be kind of jarring to watch and try to dodge around. Yeah, and that's, you know, you could see that we made that slight. We were just dodging towards the corner, and then just put our, you know, dodged and dodged and dodged and dodged until we found ourselves running ourselves into a bullet. You know, and maybe there's something to be said about techniques where like less is more, and maybe something we should kind of consider, especially in that bullet pattern where, yeah, it seems, you know, two different speed bullets coming in different directions seems to be our, like, you know, kryptonite. And as we try to just weather these attacks with bombs. You know, so maybe considering less movement for future runs. Yeah, how about that, right? Like, what can you do? What can you do? I mean, maybe there was a gap, but, you know, I mean, I suppose the best answer is don't lay in the corner and expect, you know, safety, right? So, a lot of bad placement, really. You know, a lot of probably unnecessary dodges that put us in the corner, hiding in the corner, you know, that sort of thing. And not to mention, you know, although we have used, you know, plenty of bombs, Jesus Christ, you know, we've flushed just as many down the toilet as well. Sitting at max. There goes 3 more bombs. Maybe another strategy or another experiment we should consider before we go absolute mad is if we go bomb happy. You know, instead of crunching down on some of these like dodges like that, like these last couple were. What if we just threw a bomb out? You know, and we kept doing that. You know, you're like, oh shit, this is a little bit ugly. Throw a bomb. You know, don't even try. How far would we get in the game? You know, and how many lives would we have when we, you know, started running out of resources, right? It'd be interesting. I think we had that dodge and just kind of got a bit too scared. Here we are, absolutely bottom barrel. However, 5.9. Rushing up, getting the extend with our maximum. I mean, but then eating it. Pretty, I would say, like, you know, I wouldn't necessarily call that clutch, but I would say it was, you know, awareness that I was kind of like, all right, that's what we need to do. We need to get these points absolutely right now, just so we can survive. Like, I don't even care if we die. You know, it's 3 more bombs to keep things, you know, keep things going. We can at least die on the final level, like we've said before. Holding out as long as we can, because we do only have 3 bombs. You know, maybe it's a mistake in some degree because we don't have, you know, we don't have a lot of room to toy around with. You know, 1 more hit and we're toast. Luckily, this last one's rather easy. We can kind of, granted now they're returning and bouncing around, but for the most part, you can just leap over the whole lot of them. Reimu's homing will continue on. Yeah, but you can tell even at the end of this fight, it's kind of getting a bit too chaotic. But there we go. God damn, right? Bottom of the barrel once more. However, final stage. So, you know, it wasn't too long ago where we reached the final boss in this sort of condition, not the beginning of the last stage. So, you know, is this a bad run? Yes. Is it a worse run than we had prior? Yes. Absolute failure? Maybe not. But certainly not good. You know, is this the moment where we go crazy and try all these extra strategies and you know, cry our hearts out? I don't think so. You know, it was just a lot of bad plays. You know, I would say, like, you know, when you see something coming, you know, we just moved poorly through it, you know. But till next time, I guess. That's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. And we'll come back and play some more Touhou in the future.